Hey there everybody, guess what? It's Wednesday and we're back here at Tennessee Fitness Spa and we have a treat for you. Today's cooking demonstration is going to be a little bit on the healthier side, shrimp scampi. I almost got my tongue tied right there, but what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be doing a lower carb version, and also it's gluten free. Yeah. So what I've done, instead of using your traditional pasta, pasta can really rack up the carbohydrates if we're not careful. So today what I'm going to be doing is, and I know that you've watched me before do this, and you know how much I love my spiralizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take my zucchini, and you can use yellow squash, for if you like to, or if you have some other favorite recipe that you would like to swap the pasta out in, you can use the zucchini, the squash. I've used, sweet potatoes. I've used all kinds of different things. Even butternut squash, as the season gets better for that, you can use those types of things. But anything that you can basically put on here and make some noodles out of is basically what you're going to do. So the first thing I do is I like to trim mine down to a manageable size, because I want to tell you something, these little fellers, they can get long, if you know what I mean. So what I do is I trim it down to a good manageable size. I like to have a good firm zucchini so that I'm not, it's not as watery, and I get a good, firm noodle out of it. Now, as you're going along, you see, we're just going to kind of spiralize this along. We're going to put this as it goes through. And the same thing if you're using squash. If you're using squash, the same thing. Make sure you don't have some big puffy seeds or anything like that, because you're not going to get the quality that you want from that. So make sure that you're paying attention in that direction. So I'm going to basically prepare this up. It's going to give us some good little zoodles here. Alright, so now that was that side there. Now I'm going to go ahead and trim this other end right here. And then I'm going to put this side of this plate under there now, so because it'll work a little bit better. And just kind of give it another, and go ahead and finish up. Now this little spiralizer here has different blades, so it depends on you and your preference as to the blade type or the type of noodle that you want. So it's entirely up to you. I like to have a good size noodle just simply because I feel that when it comes to zucchini, they're awfully watery, and if you're not careful, when you're cooking it, then it's going to basically turn to mush. And so make sure that get a good size noodle for that. All right, now, so that, as you can see, this is our noodle here, our pasta for our dish. Now the first thing I'm going to do now that I've got this going is I'm going to spray my pan rather, basically a good little amount, give it a good little coating, and then I added about a teaspoon of olive oil to that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my shrimp. Now I got some fresh shrimp from our local grocery store this morning. And so the first thing I'm going to do is was basically took the veins, took and deveined it and removed the tail and also the scale off of it. So I took that, and I did that, and I also put some garlic and butter on there, or garlic and herb on there, and actually took and turned around and put a little bit of olive oil on it. So now I'm going to basically cook this. We're going to cook our shrimp. Alrighty. And you don't want to overcook your shrimp. That would be a definite no-no. So we're going to add that to it. Oh, so I got a little scale right there still. And you can always see that when it starts to come around. We're going to throw in some garlic. Yep. And we're also going to put some butter in that. How about 2 tablespoons of butter? Because that's what makes that scampi good. was another scale from my shrimp. Kind of missed a few when I was cleaning it, I guess. Alright, we're going to kind of put that lid back on there. And now while that is cooking, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply take and slice my tomatoes in half is what I'm going to do. Oh, I've got my knife laying right there. Can't see it for it's right under my nose. That's what they always say. It's right under your nose. That's where it will be at. Alright, we're going to take that. We're going to add that to my shrimp scampi. I've also got fresh spinach. I'll be adding to that as well. Lemon juice, lemon zest, red onion, and some wonderful spices as well as some artichoke hearts. Oh yeah, we're starting to get this perfect here. Now I'm going to add in my onion. That. And then I'm going to add in my broth. In my broth, I'm actually going to be adding some almond flour so that it will thicken up as it cooks down. So if you're going to keep it gluten-free, you can add the tapioca flour or almond flour, and it will thicken up just the same as if you were doing your traditional cornstarch or white flour. Okay. This cook just ever so slightly. I'm going to add in the shrimp or the spinach. Actually, I think I'll wait just a little bit. My onions are not quite tender enough for that. So let's give them a little bit longer. Our shrimp is just beginning to curl, as you can see right there. So you shouldn't have any trouble. You know, at this point in time, that's about the point where that it is just about done. So I'm going to add that in there. My onions will have a little bit of a bite to them, and that's perfectly fine because I like a little bit of crunch to mine. I'm going to add that. I'm going to wilt my spinach. And then we're going to add in our zoodles as well, because you do not want to overcook the zoodles because the zucchini is already contains quite a bit of water within it. You're just going to basically toss this to the point to where that it gets warmed, but yet not cooked. So as that spinach wilts, your zoodles will heat through. You don't want to go too heavy on it. You're going to add the tomatoes in. Add that in. And then now I'm going to add my broth, because by the time all of that gets done, it's going to actually be, this is going to be creating a good little glaze for that. Now I'm going to add my seasoning, which is a combination of nutritional yeast and black pepper. And then I'm going to be tossing in some fresh parsley. But before I begin that, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of lemon juice over the top of that. Add that in there. And some lemon zest. And when we get ready to serve this and plate that up, we'll also add some more lemon zest to it. Now you can see how this is starting to get thick. This is starting to get a little bit of a glaze over it now. Oh yeah. The liquids are starting to get concentrated, and it becomes more of a creamy sauce, just like your scampi, just like you would want. Alright, now we're just going to get this and we're going to plate it up. We'll turn this off. So you can see these little fellers, they get long on you. Okay. I have our shrimp here. I have our tomatoes. And of course this is enough for, you know, a couple of servings here, because we have some wonderful, lovely guests that are joining us today here at Tennessee Fitness Spa, and I want to make sure that everybody gets a taste. Okay. All right. Now, let's set that aside. Okie dokie. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sprinkle some dried parsley over the top. We're actually going to now, at this point in time, we're going to put a little bit more lemon zest over it. And there we go. And this is my shrimp scampi zoodle. So while that one is resting, we're going to put together a dessert, because today I want to do a little bit of a dessert for you. And our dessert today is basically one of my favorites. It's just a real simple little dessert. And what we're going to do is I'm basically going to take and I'm going to bring in a little bit of frozen blueberries. I'm going to add that to my pot right here. I'll add that there. I've got about a cup of frozen blueberries there. And I'm going to add to it a little bit of lemon juice. And then I'm going to add some stevia. Get my gloves on right quick. Now, so I'm going to take my painters here, kind of give them a little bit of a stir around, add some stevia to it. We're going to let this concentrate down. While that's doing that, I'll move these out of the way. You can always use that lemon that you use for your dish as your garnish. Okay. We're going to take that. We're going to mix this up. Let that cook down until it becomes a little bit more concentrated. Now while that's doing that, we're actually going to grab a little bowl down here, right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Greek yogurt that I have, and I'm going to mix it. So I'm going to take and I'm going to add, and I've got another an 8-ounce serving. This is 1 cup of Greek style yogurt. And you're going to take that, and you're going to add your little stevia with it. Whoops. You see I use about 2 teaspoons. Okay, and then per 1 cup, and mix this up. And then if you want it to be lemony and zesty, you can, or you can use, you know, just whatever extract. But today I'm using coconut, or actually vanilla extract. Just a little drizzle of that. As you can see, you know, you just mix it up. Give it a good little, make sure everything's mixed up really good in there. And you can put this in a parfait, or ever how you like to put it. But as you can see, you can actually just put it in a little dish, sort of like what we've got it right here. And I'm going to twirl it and make it really pretty, because we do eat with our eyes. We eat with our eyes, so you need to take some time, and you know, when you're preparing your meals at home, you know, make them in a little bit of a decorative, you know, put some presentation to it, you know, so that you're actually getting, now, I'm getting that concentration down there. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice to deglaze the pan. So give me that deglazing there. Alrighty. And so now I have my blueberries that I will actually just take and kind of drop right here in the center of our lovely little dessert. And there you go. And this is my sweet cream with blueberry compote. And it pairs perfectly with my shrimp scampi. I want to thank you all so much for joining me today. As always, if you would like to get these recipes, don't hesitate to send me a message. I'll be glad to shoot them out to you. We're always right here at Tennessee Fitness Spa on Wednesday, typically. If not, we'll let you know in the future. Take care of yourself. Take it one day at a time. And don't forget to come back next week and see what we're cooking up. Bye-bye, everybody.